for life coaching, I want you to think about it like this. Before you can go and say, this is what I want to improve on my money, you may need to back up and look at the different areas of your life to see where some blocks are happening. Hi, everyone, Vernita here, and I want to come on and talk to you about life coaching, whether this person is a generalist or not. So, the reason why I'm doing this for several reasons. In case you're wondering if you really want to work with a life coach. And the second reason I want to do this is to clear up some things. So, I've been watching judge shows. I love court TV. And there have been several cases where people have been suing life coaches because they're not getting the results that they thought they should get. And I know that some people were saying, well, the life coach doesn't have any credentials or qualifications, or life coaching is like, that's the easiest type of life coaching because it's been put out there that if you've gone through certain experiences in your life, then if you've learned those lessons, then you can teach anybody. So pretty much anybody can be a life coach. And so for that reason, I did, when I transitioned, I did not want to call myself a life coach because of that reason. But then I had to dig a little deeper and find out why was I so hesitant about life coaching? And I needed to figure that out because I was repelling, like potential clients. So this is part of life coaching kind of in action so you can understand it. So backstory, while I call this generalist or not, when I was a college professor, I was at my university and things weren't going so great. So one of he wasn't my dean, but in my doctoral program, there was an assistant dean who would help us out, through the process. So he got promoted and went to another university in Virginia to be a dean. And right now, I think he's like the provost, because he climbed his way up. But when he transitioned, he wanted to bring people over with him. And so he asked me to apply for this particular position. But the dean at the time, now, no, the provost or whatever's higher than him at the time looked at my resume or my CV, that's what we call it in higher education. It was like, she's done a lot, but she looks more like a generalist to me. And I was offended. I was like, a generalist? Like, my background is mathematics, STEM education, leadership. Like, it's very concentrated. I just had a lot of different experiences because that's how I set myself up. So while my studies were a narrow focus, a lot of my experiences, conferences, papers that I wrote were general, because at that time it was like, you need to speak and publish. When you get promoted, then you can laser down, right? And then so I got offended by that and I didn't apply. I was like, why would I come there? And I don't know, maybe I missed a blessing, maybe I got in my feelings. I don't know, but all things work out for the good. That's what the Bible says. So I had to think about that. Why was I offended? Because she thought that I was a generalist. Well, the snobby part of education with the secondary versus elementary people, if you're not in the school system, this probably doesn't apply to you, but I'm pretty sure like every industry has their, type of snobbish ways. So in the education system, it's like those of us who were secondary, whatever the subject was, we taught middle school and high school, we narrowed down on a subject area. Mine was mathematics, somebody else's could have been science, English, whatever, right? But in the elementary and primary areas, they had to learn all of the subjects. So they were truly generalists, right? So we were not saying that we didn't need them because we all needed that foundation. But it was like, well, you don't really know too much about anything, because you have to know a little something about everything, right? So little did I know that this would come back on me. And now I have to go apologize to all of the elementary teachers. Now, I wasn't like mean to them or anything like that. In fact, my job as a college professor, I got the job through the avenue of elementary education because of those experiences. Even though I maintained being a mathematics secondary person, I knew how to get into the job, and I had to work with a lot of elementary uh, pre-teachers, pre-service teachers, that's what we call them, current teachers and elementary administrators. And then so that allowed me to truly have a K-20 experience. So while I was doing that work, I gained a new appreciation for elementary teachers. Now, I still believe that it needs to be some kind of concentration somewhere. That's just my belief. But I understand the being open and having that foundation for students to know a variety of topics. Students are like that all the way through college. You're introduced to a different variety of topics, and then you get to narrow down on your major, right? So what does that have to do with life coaching? Well, at first I didn't want to be called the life coach because I was connecting that to a generalist and listening to everybody talking about, oh, life coaches are like the bottom of the barrel of the coaches. I know, horrible. So I was like, I didn't want to associate that because of what my past experience was. But then I had to think about it like this. Everybody needs a life coach. Well, not need. Everyone should have it would be beneficial to have a life coach to see your holistic life. We know that health and wellness coaches, you can see the results when they talk about weight management. Financial coaches, the results are in the money, how you save, how you invest, all of that. Business coaches, is my business growing, whether it's in products, uh, employees, and revenue. And relationship coaches, am I being a better communicator? Is my marriage improving? My relationship with my children, my business partner, whatever. Those are and then we can keep going on and on about the specific coaches. But this is what I discovered. A lot of people who go straight to the niche coaches, they're still struggling because they haven't figured out, or they haven't taken a look at their holistic life to see if that's where they're going. So when I did that, when I looked at all of that, because myself included, I realized that I was missing some gaps, and I went straight to a business coach when I could have backed up a little bit and looked into life coaching. And so I want to talk to you about like the results. Well, there will be a part 2 of this video. It'll be longer because I'm going to tell you some tangible results. But for life coaching, I want you to think about it like this. Before you can go and say, this is what I want to improve on my money, you may need to back up and look at the different areas of your life to see where some blocks are happening. So during my research with my own coaches and my own research, I learned that you can do between 12 and 15 areas of your life where you can focus on up leveling, clearing some blocks, and things like that. So our life coaches generalists, in a way, a good one, yes, because we help you uncover, unblock, transform your life, or look at the areas of your life that you probably haven't paid attention to so you can get the results that you're looking for. So here's the case of a lawsuit that I saw that piqued my interest. Like, are you really suing your life coach? So this lady came in, she offered this woman 10 sessions, and the company had hired the life coach and was like, well, we need our employees to, look at their lives a little better, up level their skill sets. They just need some help to move forward. So they hired this life coach, and the employees could pick which life coach they wanted. So this one lady, she picked this life coach, and she was like, well, you're not certified, or you don't have your IFC, which is the International Federation of Coaching credentials, or something like that. So the lady was like, I don't have that particular certification, but I have qualifications and certifications, right? And let me tell you this, don't get so hung up on the certifications and everything. So if you're looking for that, the judge gave an example, like when you go to your doctor or your dentist or whomever, do you automatically like, let me see your degree? You're like, no, who's going to help me, right? And there are other things to consider, like the vibe, the questions they ask, the care that they give you, the results that you get. So there are a lot of credentialed people who can't give you results, and people are going to these people because they think they're credentialed. And then they're still like, man, I didn't get nothing out of that because you didn't look at, other things, to factor into that. But anyway, so she went to her, there were 10 sessions, but she went to her for 6 sessions, and she bailed out on the 7th session. And she was like, well, she didn't give me the results that I was looking for. And so the judge kept asking her, well, what were you trying to get out of it? So she was like, well, she kept saying the same things, or I just didn't feel like she was helping me or anything. So the judge was like, well, did you communicate that with her? She was like, no, I was just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. So the judge was like, but you went 6 sessions and then you were like, all of a sudden you didn't want to go. Well, digging deeper, this is what happened. The lady ended up getting another job, a higher paying job at a different company. And she was like, well, the coach didn't give me what I was looking for. Here's the thing. The reason why the previous employee said that certain people needed or suggested life coaching, it was like either to elevate in that company. It was a reason why she was getting passed over in certain areas, and she just needed some additional support. That is what that life coach provided. But because the lady, didn't, she herself didn't feel the internal shift I guess she was expecting, she didn't look at the tangible result or connect it to the life coaching, that whatever she was doing in those sessions, it made you change enough for you to get a position at a different company. She was like, well, I didn't get hired in that company, so the life coaching didn't work. So what I'm saying to you is, sometimes when you work with a good life coach and one who actually works on transformational work, and that is something we'll talk about in the next video, we do have to take a general view of what's going on to help you pinpoint what is really happening so you can get the results. If she had gone to just a career coach or just an executive coach, and sometimes executive coaching can lean to more towards life coaching, but if she had just gone to that specialist, then that person would have only focused on the things we need to do to get you hired in this job, not really looking at different parts of you to uncover why you feel like you're being looked over. What is happening in your mind? What are your thoughts telling you? How are you showing up? What is the vibe that you're giving off? Right? So the career coaching or executive coachings are definitely needed, but I will suggest that if you're going to a life coach who has the experience or the know-it-all to look at multiple areas of your life and look behind what you're saying, then it would benefit you more. So in that case, with that, and using that same example, had she really understood what was happening, yes, that life coach came in as a generalist. Throughout those sessions, she was able to pinpoint something, because they didn't discuss that on the case. She was able to pinpoint something for you to make a shift and change to get that job. She could have finished those sessions out, and the recommendation would have been, okay, great. Now that you're in this new position, maybe it's time for you to get an executive coach or some type of leadership coach if the life coach didn't have that experience, and then take you on to your next level. You see how that works? So again, I'm gonna wrap this up. Don't downplay what if a life coach is a generalist, just like the elementary. I keep laughing at that example. Think of the elementary school teacher. You had to be, when you were in elementary school, you had to be exposed to all of the subjects so you could pick your favorite. You didn't go straight in just because your parents may have said, well, you are great at math, so all you're going to do is go to a school that focuses on mathematics. That wouldn't be beneficial to you, right? Same thing if you went to college. You were exposed to all of these different areas. Even if you had an idea of what you're going to major in, look how much if you went to one that did things correctly, look at how all of those experiences would now enhance your degree, your major, moving into your job. So whatever you think about colleging, the way college could work if you use it right is to give you a broader perspective, for you to think more differently, so that way you can have those experiences and bring them down into your niche area. So life coaching, a lot of us are generalists, but we're the generalists to help you pinpoint where you need to show up to get your results. All right, so that is what I want to share with you today. Again, I am Vernita Glenn White. I am the Brilliant Solutionist, and I will break that down in the next video. I am a transformational life coach, and let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.